The nanny fed the millionaire heiress with her hands, but when the father saw William Parker was about to lose everything he had built over 20 years of hard work. His company was facing the worst financial crisis in its history. Investors were threatening to pull their capital, and his wife Jennifer had left with just a suitcase, leaving behind their 3-year-old daughter and a letter he still hadn't found the courage to open. It was in this moment of utter despair that he came home early and saw something that left him completely speechless. Ashley, the nanny he had hired just 2 months ago, was sitting on the dining room floor, feeding his daughter Emma with her own hands. The little girl, who had refused to eat anything for weeks and had visibly grown thinner, was opening her mouth obediently to accept each bite of spaghetti Ashley offered with endless patience. "That's it, princess. Just one more bite to grow strong," Ashley said softly, gently wiping the corner of Emma's mouth with a napkin. William felt his chest tighten. Ever since Jennifer left, he had tried everything to get his daughter to eat. He offered her favorite dishes, promised new toys, even begged. Nothing worked. Emma would simply push the plate away and retreat into a silence that broke her father's heart. But there she was, eating peacefully from the hands of a stranger. "Daddy's home." Ashley smiled when she noticed him, making a move to stand up. No, keep going." William gestured with his hand, his voice rougher than he intended. Emma turned her little face toward her father, but didn't smile like she used to. Her big brown eyes, so much like her mother's, seemed to carry a sadness too heavy for such a small child. "She ate almost everything today, Mr. Parker," Ashley remarked, offering Emma another bite. "She even asked for seconds of the fruit salad at snack time." William nodded, unable to form words. How was it possible that an employee had achieved in just a few weeks what he hadn't been able to in months? What was wrong with him as a father? That night, after Emma went to bed, William stayed in the living room replaying the day's events. The meeting with the lawyers had been a disaster. They confirmed that if he couldn't settle his debts in 60 days, he would lose not only the company, but also the house. He'd have to sell everything, even the mansion where Emma had been born. And now he was discovering that his own daughter trusted the nanny more than him. The sound of bare feet on marble made him look up. Ashley came down the stairs carefully, carrying a blanket and a small pillow. "Emma woke up and asked for water," she explained. "I'll stay in her room tonight if you don't mind. She has nightmares when she sleeps alone." "Nightmares?" William stood up immediately. "Why didn't you tell me before?" Ashley hesitated for a moment, adjusting the blanket in her arms. "She made me promise not to. She said she didn't want to make Daddy any sadder." The words hit William like a punch to the gut. His daughter was suffering in silence to spare him more pain. What kind of father had he become? "What kind of nightmares?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "She dreams that everyone she loves leaves," Ashley replied gently. "I help her understand that not everyone who leaves stops loving us." William squeezed his eyes shut. How could a young woman in her 20s understand his daughter's pain better than he did? Can I stay with you both in her room tonight?" The question slipped out before he could stop himself. Ashley smiled for the first time since he'd come home. "Of course, Mr. Parker. I think she'd be very happy." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now continuing, climbing the stairs toward his daughter's room felt like a journey of miles. William hadn't been there since the night Jennifer left. It had been too painful to see the scattered toys, the little clothes in the closet, the life they had built together. When he opened the door, he found Emma sitting on the bed, hugging the stuffed bear she'd gotten for her first birthday. She looked up at him and, for the first time in weeks, gave a timid smile. "Daddy, are you sleeping here too?" she asked in a small voice. "If you want me to." William approached slowly, as if afraid of startling her. "I do. But will you stay till morning? You won't leave in the middle of the night?" The question pierced William's heart. He remembered all the nights he'd slipped out of the room after she fell asleep, unable to bear being surrounded by memories of Jennifer. "I'll stay till you wake up," he promised, sitting on the edge of the bed. Ashley straightened the blankets and settled into the armchair by the window. Emma lay down but fidgeted restlessly for a few minutes. "Daddy, is Mommy ever coming back?" The question came as a whisper in the dark. William's throat tightened. How could he explain to a 3-year-old something he didn't understand himself? "I don't know, sweetheart," he answered honestly. "Sometimes people have to leave, even when we don't want them to. But does she still love me? So much. Just like I love you and Ashley loves you too." Emma turned toward Ashley. "Is that true, Auntie Ashley? Do you love me?" "Of course I do, Princess, since the very first day I saw you. So you won't leave either?" Ashley exchanged a glance with William in the dark. Both knew that if he lost the house, he wouldn't be able to keep a nanny. "I'll stay as long as I can," Ashley replied carefully. Emma seemed satisfied with the answer and finally fell asleep. William stayed there, watching his daughter's peaceful breathing until Ashley whispered, "Mr. Parker, can I say something?" He nodded. "Emma needs routine and security right now. If there's anything that might affect her life, it's better she's prepared little by little." "What do you mean?" "I've noticed you've been very worried, and children sense that. They don't understand what's happening, but they absorb all the tension from adults." William sighed heavily. How could he tell the nanny that in 2 months she might be out of a job and Emma might be living in a rented apartment? The next morning, William woke to Emma playing with his hair. "Daddy, you stayed," she said, beaming. It was the first time in months he'd seen his daughter genuinely happy. Ashley was already up, laying out Emma's clothes for the day. "How about we have breakfast together today?" William suggested. "With pancakes?" Emma asked hopefully. "With pancakes," he confirmed, even though he had no idea how to make them. "I'll help you in the kitchen," Ashley offered with an amused smile. The 3 of them went downstairs together. The kitchen was a place William rarely visited. There had always been a cook or takeout. But there, watching Ashley teach Emma how to crack eggs and stir the batter, he felt something he hadn't in a long time: the feeling of family. "Daddy, can you stir too?" Emma held out the wooden spoon to him. William took the spoon, trying to mimic the motions Ashley had shown. Emma giggled when batter splattered onto his dress shirt. "You're doing it just like Mommy used to," she said suddenly, and everyone fell silent. "Mommy used to make pancakes?" William asked softly. "She did. And she would let me lick the bowl afterward." William looked at Ashley, who nodded, encouraging him to continue the conversation. "And did you like making pancakes with Mommy?" "I loved it. But then she got sad and stopped cooking." The revelation hit William like a bolt of lightning. Jennifer had stopped cooking. He hadn't even noticed. In the last few weeks before she left, he came home so late he barely saw the family. He always found Emma already asleep and Jennifer quiet, distant. "Do you remember other things you used to do together?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "We planted flowers in the garden, and she taught me how to draw butterflies. But then she didn't want to leave the bedroom anymore." Each word from Emma was like a piece of a puzzle William had refused to put together. Jennifer had tried to keep things normal for their daughter, even while battling something he hadn't even noticed. "Sir William," Ashley interrupted gently, "I think the first pancake is ready." The distraction was welcome. William served the still warm pancake to Emma, who ate it eagerly. It felt surreal to be there, doing something so simple and everyday while his life was falling apart. After breakfast, Ashley took Emma to play in the garden, and William locked himself in his office. He had dozens of calls to make, contracts to review, an entire company to try to save. But for the first time in months, he felt there might be something more important. Around noon, his phone rang. It was Amanda Heiress, his lawyer. "William, I need to speak with you urgently. The creditors have made an offer." "What kind of offer?" "They're willing to renegotiate the debt, but there's a condition. They want you to sell the house." William leaned back in his chair, closing his eyes. The house was the last piece of the life he had built with Jennifer. It was where Emma had taken her first steps, spoken her first words. How much time would I have? 60 days to close the sale. If you get a good price, you can pay everything off and still have something left to start over. And if I don't sell, then they foreclose, and you lose everything anyway, with nothing in return. William thanked her and hung up. Through his office window, he could see Emma chasing butterflies in the garden, with Ashley sitting on the grass watching. The scene was so normal, so beautiful, it felt unreal. How do you tell a 3-year-old they'll have to leave the only home they've ever known? That afternoon, while Ashley was giving Emma a bath, William finally found the courage to open the letter Jennifer had left. His hands shook as he unfolded the paper. "William, by the time you read this, I'll already be gone. I couldn't pretend anymore that everything was fine. I couldn't wake up every day carrying the weight of a sadness I didn't even understand. I tried to get help, but you were always so busy I didn't want to burden you with my problems. Emma needs you now. She needs the father I once knew, not the stranger you've become. Take good care of our little girl. One day, when I find myself again, I want to come back to you both. With love, Jennifer." William read the letter 3 times before he could fully process the words. Jennifer hadn't abandoned the family because she stopped loving them. She was sick, depressed, and he had been so absorbed in his own problems he hadn't even noticed. The weight of guilt nearly suffocated him. How many signs had he ignored? How many times had Jennifer tried to reach out, only for him to be too busy to see? That night, after Emma was asleep, William went to the kitchen to find Ashley. She was packing the little girl's lunch for the next day. "Ashley, can I ask you a personal question?" She stopped what she was doing and turned to him. "Of course, Sir William. Why are you so good with kids? Do you have children?" Ashley's face tightened for a moment, and William immediately regretted his question. "I'm sorry, you don't have to answer if you don't want to." "No, it's okay," she sighed. "I don't have children, but I took care of my younger brother ever since she got sick. He was Emma's age when I became responsible for him." That must have been hard. It was, but it also taught me that sometimes children need us in ways we can't even imagine. They feel when we're absent, even if we're physically there. Ashley's words echoed in William's mind. He had been absent from Emma long before Jennifer left, emotionally absent even when he was physically present. "Ashley, I need to tell you something," he decided to be honest. "I might have to sell the house soon. If that happens, I won't be able to keep you employed." Ashley nodded slowly, as if she had already suspected something like this might happen. "Have you told Emma yet?" "Not yet. I don't know how. She'll handle the change as long as she feels safe. Children are more resilient than we think." "But what if she can't? What if it's too much for her after everything she's already been through?" Ashley stepped closer and placed a hand on William's arm. "Mr. Parker, can I tell you something my mother always said? Children don't need perfect houses or perfect lives. They need adults who are truly present, who listen to them and love them unconditionally. But how do I give her the same life she had before? Maybe she doesn't need the same life. Maybe she needs a better one, a life where you're really there." That night, William lay awake thinking about Ashley's words. Had his worry about maintaining their lifestyle kept him from truly connecting with his daughter? The next morning he made a decision. Instead of heading straight to the office, he stayed to have breakfast with Emma. And he didn't just stay physically present, he put his phone away and focused entirely on her. "Daddy, can you take me to see the fish in the park today?" Emma asked between bites of her pancakes. William was about to say he had important meetings but stopped himself. When was the last time he'd taken his daughter to the park? "Of course, we can go after lunch." Emma's eyes lit up in a way William hadn't seen in months. "Really? Just the 2 of us?" "Just the 2 of us," he confirmed, ignoring the mental list of appointments he'd have to cancel. Ashley smiled softly as she poured more juice for Emma. "Is Auntie Ashley coming too?" Emma asked. "If she wants to." William looked at the nanny. "I think you two deserve some special time together," Ashley replied. "I'll use this time to organize a few things here at home. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. The trip to the park was eye-opening. Emma showed William every detail she found important. The tree where butterflies landed, the bench where she and Jennifer used to sit and draw, the pond where ducks swam in circles. "Daddy, do you remember when you first brought me here?" she asked, standing by the pond. William tried to remember, but the memory was hazy. There had been so many times he'd promised to take Emma places, only to cancel at the last minute. "You tell me," he said, sitting on the grass beside her. "I was really little. Mommy said you were scared I'd fall in the water, so you held my hand really tight. And when the ducks came close, you made funny voices pretending to be them." William felt a tightness in his chest. He had completely forgotten about that episode, but for Emma, it was clearly a precious memory. "Can you do the duck voices again?" she asked hopefully. William looked around, slightly embarrassed. There were other families in the park, children playing, people walking. But when he saw the anticipation on his daughter's face, he decided none of that mattered. "Quack, quack, look what a beautiful girl came to visit us," he said, imitating a deep, funny voice. Emma laughed delightedly, clapping her hands. "Now do the mommy duck's voice." "Quack, quack, she's the smartest girl in the whole park," William continued, now in a higher-pitched voice. To his surprise, playing in such a simple way brought a lightness he hadn't felt in a long time. Emma was radiant, and that was enough to make it all worthwhile. When they returned home that evening, William found a surprise waiting for him. Amanda Heiress, his lawyer, was in the living room talking to Ashley. "Amanda, what are you doing here? I needed to speak with you urgently. An opportunity has come up that could change everything." William asked Ashley to take Emma to her room and followed Amanda to the office. "An investment firm is interested in buying your house, but there's an unusual condition," Amanda explained. "They want you to continue living here for 2 years, managing the property as a caretaker. The salary would cover your basic expenses, and there'd even be enough left for you to restart your business." William looked at her skeptically. "This sounds too good to be true. Why would they do this?" "Apparently, the owner of the company has a daughter Emma's age and was moved by your story. He believes uprooting a child during such a delicate time could cause unnecessary trauma." "Who is this man?" "He prefers to remain anonymous for now. He only said he's experienced losing his wife and knows how hard it is to raise a daughter alone." William stood up and walked to the window. From the office, he could see Emma in the garden with Ashley, chasing butterflies. The scene was so normal, so precious, that the possibility of keeping it moved him deeply. "Is there a catch?" "From what I understand, just one condition. He wants to meet you and Emma in person before finalizing the deal. He wants to be sure he's doing the right thing." "When?" "Tomorrow afternoon, if you agree." William nodded. He didn't have many options, and this one seemed too good to pass up. That night, he told Ashley about the offer, without mentioning the financial details. "It seems providential," she remarked. "Sometimes solutions come from where we least expect them." "Do you believe in those things, divine providence?" "I believe that when we're open to change and focused on what truly matters, the universe conspires in our favor." William smiled. There was something comforting about the simple way Ashley saw life. "Ashley, can I ask you something? If this deal works out and I can keep the house, would you stay with us?" She seemed surprised by the question. "Are you sure, sir? After all this, maybe the two of you need time to reconnect without outside interference. It's not interference when it's welcome. Emma loves you, and I'm also grateful for everything you've done for us." Ashley smiled, but William noticed a shadow of hesitation in her eyes. "Is there something you're not telling me?" he asked. Ashley sighed, as if wrestling with something inside. "Mr. Parker, when I accepted this job, it wasn't just for the work. I knew your wife." William felt the ground disappear beneath him. "What do you mean?" "We met in a support group. I was dealing with depression after my brother, after he grew up and didn't need me anymore. And Jennifer was struggling with something similar." "Jennifer was in therapy." William could barely form the words. "She tried several times to tell you, sir, but she always said you were too stressed with work. She didn't want to be another problem for you to solve." The revelation hit William like a tsunami. Jennifer had sought help, had tried to take care of herself, and he hadn't even known. "That's why you agreed to work here," he murmured, understanding. "She asked me to. Before leaving, she came to me and said she couldn't care for Emma the way she deserved anymore. She asked me to look after her until things settled." "Do you know where she is?" Ashley hesitated. "I know she's getting treatment, but she made it clear she'd only come back when she was truly well, when she could be the mother Emma deserves." William sank heavily into the chair. All his assumptions about Jennifer abandoning them were wrong. She hadn't run from responsibility. She had sacrificed her own happiness to protect their daughter. Does she ask about us? Always. I send her photos and little updates about how Emma's doing. She's so happy when I tell her you two are growing closer. Can you tell her I finally understand? That I'm so sorry I didn't see what she was going through? Ashley nodded with a sad smile. She'll be relieved to know you're both okay. The next day, William dressed carefully for the meeting with the mysterious investor. He put Emma in her favorite blue dress, the one Jennifer had bought for her last birthday. "Where are we going, Daddy?" Emma asked in the car. "We're meeting someone very important, someone who might help us stay in our home." "Is our home going away?" William took a deep breath. It was time to be honest with his daughter. "I've had some trouble at work, and we might have had to move, but this person could help us stay." Emma was quiet for a moment. "If we move, is Auntie Ashley coming too?" "Yes, she's coming wherever we go." "Then it's okay," Emma replied with the simplicity only children have. The meeting took place at a cozy cafe in the city center. Amanda had described the man as tall with graying hair around 50. When William entered, he immediately spotted someone matching that description sitting at a corner table. What he didn't expect was to recognize the face. "Dr. Robert Thompson," William approached, stunned. The man stood and smiled. "Hello, William. You must be wondering how I knew about your situation." Dr. Robert had been Emma's pediatrician since she was born, a respected doctor, known for his genuine warmth with children and their families. "I don't understand," William said, still processing. "Sit, please, you too, Princess," Dr. Robert said to Emma with his usual kindness. "Uncle Robert," Emma ran to hug him. "Hello, my dear. You're more beautiful every day." Once they settled, Dr. Robert began to explain. "William, I heard about your financial troubles from Jennifer. She came to me before she left, worried about your future." "Jennifer spoke to you?" "Yes. She was heartbroken, not just about her own condition, but terrified you'd lose everything. She asked me to keep an eye on you." "But why would you do this? Why invest so much in our situation?" Dr. Robert smiled sadly. "Because I've been where you are. I lost my wife 5 years ago, to depression too. She couldn't find a way out the way Jennifer is." The revelation left William speechless. He vaguely remembered hearing about Dr. Robert's loss, but had never connected the dots. "My daughter Olivia was 7 years old when we lost her mother. It was the hardest time of my life. If someone had reached out to me back then like I'm doing now, maybe things would have been different." Emma was distracted, coloring a drawing the waiter had brought, unaware of the adults' conversation. "Dr. Robert, I don't know how to thank you." "No need to thank me. Just promise me you'll be there for your daughter, that you'll give her what I couldn't give Olivia back then." "How is Olivia doing now?" "She's doing well. She's 12 now, strong and brave. But it took me years to learn how to be the father she needed. You have the chance to learn that now while Emma is still little." The deal was settled right then. Dr. Robert would buy the house and let them continue living there, in exchange for William taking care of the property and managing some social projects the doctor was developing. When they left the cafe, Emma was excited. "Daddy, Uncle Robert is so nice. He said Olivia can come play with me." "Yes, sweetheart. I think you two will get along great." That night, William called Amanda to finalize the details of the agreement. For the first time in months, he felt like he could breathe easy. The house was saved, the business could be restructured gradually, and he had a second chance to be the father Emma deserved. But there was still one thing bothering him. Ashley. He found her in the kitchen after Emma had gone to sleep. "Can you tell me more about Jennifer? How is she doing?" Ashley sat at the kitchen table, carefully choosing her words. "She's in a specialized clinic in New York City. She's making progress, but still has a long way to go." "Does she know about Dr. Robert? About the agreement?" "Yes, she does. In fact, she was the one who suggested he reach out to you. She said she knew his character and believed it would be a good solution for everyone." Does she have a discharge date?" Ashley hesitated. "The doctors are cautious. Depression isn't something that heals overnight, but she's determined to get better, especially for Emma's sake. Can I visit her? Not yet. She needs to focus on her treatment without outside distractions. But she said when she's ready, she'd like to see you both. William nodded, trying to hide his disappointment. Part of him had hoped that with the financial situation resolved, Jennifer could come back immediately. But he was starting to understand that emotional healing was a much more complex process. In the weeks that followed, life at home settled into a new routine. William drastically cut back his work hours, focusing only on what was essential to keep the new business running. The rest of his time he dedicated to Emma and Dr. Roberts' projects. One of those projects was a community center for families in financial hardship, where children could receive psychological and educational support. William discovered he had a knack for managing social organizations, and the work gave him a sense of purpose he'd never felt in the corporate world. Emma thrived in this new environment. She started speaking regularly again, laughed often, and developed a special friendship with Olivia, Dr. Roberts' daughter. The two girls, despite their age difference, connected through their shared experience of losing their mothers, even if under different circumstances. "Daddy," Emma said one afternoon as they played in the garden, "you're happier now." "What do you mean, sweetheart?" "Yeah, you smile more. And you don't stare at your phone all the time." His daughter's observation touched him deeply. She was right. For the first time in years, he felt genuinely happy. Not happy because he was rich or successful, but happy because he was present, connected, living each moment fully. Ashley noticed the change too. "You've become a completely different father," she remarked one evening. "Do you think Jennifer would be proud?" "I'm sure she would. Actually," Ashley hesitated. "She asked me to record some videos of Emma playing with you. She wants to see how well you two are getting along." The idea of Jennifer watching videos of them brought a mix of joy and melancholy. William desperately wished she were there, witnessing it all in person. "Ashley, can I ask you something? Are you happy here with us?" "Very happy. You've become family to me. And your brother. Do you miss him?" Ashley smiled sadly. "He's in college now, in another city. We talk all the time, but he doesn't need me like he used to. It was hard to accept that he's grown up. That's why you're so good with Emma. You understand what it means to love someone enough to let them go when it's necessary. Maybe. Or maybe I understand what it means to stay when you're needed." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot as we're just starting out. Now, continuing. 2 months after the agreement with Dr. Robert, William received a call that would change everything again. "Mr. Parker?" The voice on the other end belonged to a woman he didn't recognize. "Yes, who's speaking?" "This is Dr. Margaret Wilson from the clinic where Jennifer is staying. She asked me to call you." William's heart raced. "Did something happen? Is she okay?" "She's doing great. In fact, she's ready for visitors. Would you like to come see her this weekend?" William had to sit down. After 4 months, he would finally see Jennifer again. Can I bring Emma? For now, it would be best if it were just you. We want to make sure her reunion with her daughter is perfect, and Jennifer is still a little unsure about how she'll be received." "Of course, I understand. What day and time?" "Saturday at 2 in the afternoon. The clinic is in New York City. I'll text you the address." After hanging up, William stood still for several minutes, processing the news. He was going to see Jennifer. After all these months of change, growth, and transformation, he would finally be with her again. But he was also nervous. How would this meeting go? How would she see him now? And most importantly, how did he feel about her? "Auntie Ashley." Emma came running into the room. "Can you help me draw a picture for Mommy?" William and Ashley exchanged meaningful glances. "Sweetheart," William knelt to her level. "Why do you want to draw a picture for Mommy?" "Because I dreamed about her last night. She looked really pretty and said she'd be back soon, so I want to have a present ready for when she comes." William's heart ached. How could such a little girl be so wise? "What kind of picture do you want to draw?" "Our family. You, me, Mommy, and Auntie Ashley. All together in the garden with the butterflies." On Friday night, William packed his bags for the trip to New York City. Emma was asleep and Ashley helped him choose what to bring. "Are you nervous?" she asked. "Very. I don't know what to expect." "Jennifer is different," Ashley said gently. "Stronger, more determined. The treatment helped her a lot." "Have you talked to her recently?" "Yesterday. She's eager to see you, but also afraid you've changed your mind about her." "Changed my mind how?" "She's afraid you've realized you can be happy without her. That maybe it's better for everyone if she doesn't come back." William stopped packing and looked at Ashley. "That could never be true. We learned to be happy in her absence, but it would be infinitely better if she were here." "That's exactly what you need to tell her tomorrow." The trip to New York City passed in a blur. William couldn't focus on anything but the meeting that was about to happen. When he arrived at the clinic, a modern building surrounded by gardens, he felt his hands grow sweaty. Dr. Margaret greeted him personally. "Mr. Parker, it's a pleasure. Jennifer talks about you and Emma all the time." "How is she, really?" "She's made remarkable progress. When she first arrived, she was very fragile, consumed by guilt for leaving her family. It took months for her to understand that seeking help was the bravest and most loving thing she could have done." "Can I see her now?" "Of course. She's in the clinic garden, waiting for you." Dr. Margaret led him through bright, airy hallways to a stunning outdoor area. In the center of the garden, on a bench beneath a flowering tree, sat Jennifer. She looked different, thinner, but also more serene. Her hair was shorter, and there was something in her posture that radiated a peace William hadn't seen in years. When she noticed him approaching, she stood slowly, as if unsure he was real. "Hi," she said simply. "Hi," William replied, stopping a few feet away. They stayed like that for a moment, just looking at each other, as if memorizing every detail. "You look good," Jennifer finally said. "You seem at peace." "You too. Different, but good." Jennifer smiled, and William recognized the smile of the woman he'd fallen in love with years ago. "Want to sit?" She gestured to the bench. They sat side by side, keeping a respectful but comfortable distance. "William, I need to apologize," Jennifer began, "for leaving like that. For not being able to explain what was happening to me. Jennifer, I'm the one who should apologize, for being so absent that you felt you couldn't rely on me, for not realizing you were suffering. We both made mistakes," she said softly. "But maybe it was necessary. Maybe we needed this time apart to grow individually." "How are you, really?" Jennifer took a deep breath. "I still have hard days. I probably always will. But I've learned to handle them. I've learned that having depression doesn't make me a bad person or an unfit mother. And most importantly, I've learned that asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness." "I've learned things too," William said. "I've learned that being a good father doesn't mean working 16-hour days to provide material things for our daughter. I've learned she needs presence, not presence. Ashley told me you two are very close now. She saved our family, Jennifer. I don't know what would have happened to us without her. I know. That's why I chose her. I knew she'd take care of you when I couldn't." They talked for hours. Jennifer shared about therapy, how she'd learned to identify and manage her emotional triggers. William spoke about changes in their routine, how he'd discovered a new perspective on success and happiness. "And Emma?" Jennifer asked, her voice trembling. "How is she?" "She's amazing, strong, smart, brave. She asks about you every day, but never with anger or resentment, just with longing." "Has she forgiven me?" "Jennifer, she never had anything to forgive. She understands in the way only children can that you needed to take care of yourself so you could take care of her." Jennifer began to cry silently. "I was so afraid she'd hate me, that you'd both moved on without me." Without thinking, William reached out and took her hand. "We moved forward, but not without you. Everything we did, every change, every moment of growth, was with the thought of the day you'd come home." "I want to come back," Jennifer whispered, "but I'm afraid it's too late, that you don't need me anymore." "Jennifer, you're our daughter's mother. She's my wife, of course we need you. The house isn't the same without you. But what if I relapse? What if I can't be the mother and wife you deserve? Then we'll face it together. This time, together. No secrets, No trying to carry the weight alone. When visiting hours ended, Jennifer walked William to the clinic's exit. "Dr. Margaret said I could be discharged next week," she said. "If you still want me back." "Of course we do. Emma's even making a special drawing for your return." Jennifer smiled through her tears. "I love you. I never stopped loving you. Even in the hardest moments, my love for you kept me fighting." "We love you too, and we'll be here waiting for you to come home." They hugged for the first time in months, an embrace filled with forgiveness, hope, and the promise of a fresh start. The following week, William spent his days preparing the house for Jennifer's return. With Emma and Ashley, they decorated the living room with garden flowers, set up the master bedroom, and even made a welcome back sign. Emma was radiant with excitement. "Daddy, do you think Mommy will like the drawing I made?" "I'm sure she'll love it," William replied, admiring the artwork that showed a family of 4, including Ashley, holding hands in a garden full of colorful butterflies. On the day of her return, William picked Jennifer up from the clinic. She carried a small suitcase and wore a nervous smile. "Ready?" he asked. "More than ever." The drive home was filled with talk of future plans. Jennifer wanted to continue therapy, but at a reduced frequency. She also expressed interest in learning about the social projects William was developing with Dr. Robert. "I thought maybe I could help somehow," she said. "Use my experience to support other women going through what I did." "That would be amazing," William agreed. "Dr. Robert always says the best counselors are those who've lived through it themselves." When they arrived home, Emma was waiting at the living room window. The moment she saw the car, she ran out the front door. "Mommy! Mommy!" she shouted, sprinting toward Jennifer. Jennifer knelt and opened her arms, pulling her daughter into a hug that seemed to make up for all their months apart. "My princess, look how much you've grown," Jennifer said, covering Emma's face with kisses. "Mommy, I made you a drawing and I learned to make pancakes, and Daddy sleeps with me now when I have bad dreams." "Such wonderful things." Jennifer glanced at William over Emma's head, her eyes shining with gratitude. Ashley waited by the front door, quiet as always. When Jennifer approached, she held out her hand. "Ashley, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for my family." To everyone's surprise, Ashley hugged her. "Welcome back," she said simply. That night, after Emma fell asleep, the 3 adults sat in the kitchen to talk about the future. "Ashley," Jennifer said, "I'd love for you to stay with us, not just as a nanny, but as family. If you'd like, of course." "I'd love that," Ashley replied. "You've become my family too." "What about your personal life?" William asked. "Don't you want to date? Build your own family?" Ashley smiled. "Who says I don't already have my own family?" She looked around the kitchen at them, then toward Emma's bedroom. "This is my family." In the weeks that followed, their lives settled into a new rhythm. Jennifer gradually resumed household tasks, always respecting her limits and speaking up when she needed time for herself. William continued working less and prioritizing being at home. Ashley officially took on the role of Emma's auntie and became an integral part of the family. Dr. Robert and his daughter Olivia became frequent visitors. Olivia and Emma developed a beautiful friendship, and the 2 families began doing many activities together. "It's interesting how life surprises us," Dr. Robert remarked one afternoon as they watched the girls play in the garden. "I helped you thinking I was doing a good deed, but you ended up helping me much more." "How so?" William asked. "Seeing you overcome your struggles gave me hope that I too can find love again. Olivia adores your family's dynamic, and it made me realize she might benefit from having a mother figure in her life." "Are you seeing someone?" Jennifer asked with interest. Dr. Robert smiled shyly. "There's a psychologist at the clinic where Jennifer was treated. We started talking about our work and, well, perhaps something is blossoming." "How wonderful!" Jennifer clapped her hands. "Is she a good person?" "Extraordinary." And curiously, she mentioned she was inspired to work with families after following your case. She said seeing a family rebuild with so much love motivated her to specialize in that area. Life continued to surprise them positively. The community center William managed became a model for other cities. Jennifer began facilitating support groups for mothers with depression, using her experience to help other women. Ashley decided to take a pedagogy course inspired by her work with Emma. Emma flourished amid all this love and support. At 4 years old, she was a confident, affectionate child, surprisingly wise for her age. "Daddy," she said one morning as they all had breakfast together, "why did Mommy have to leave before she came back?" It was a question they all knew would come eventually. William and Jennifer exchanged glances, having previously discussed how to respond. "Sometimes, sweetheart," Jennifer answered carefully. "People get very sad inside and need special help to feel better again. I was like that and had to go to a place where very smart people taught me how to handle that sadness. Like when I get sick and go to the doctor. Exactly like when you get sick, only this time it was my heart that was hurt, not my body." "And now you're all better," Jennifer smiled. "I'm much better, and I've learned that if I ever start feeling sad again, I can ask for help from Daddy, Auntie Ashley, and the doctors. I don't have to keep the sadness all to myself." "That's good," Emma said, turning her attention back to her pancakes, "because I like it more when you're here." "I also like being here more," Jennifer replied, holding William's hand across the table. 2 years after Jennifer's return, the family celebrated Emma's 6th birthday in their backyard. There were colorful balloons, a cake made by Jennifer herself, with Emma's enthusiastic help, and dear friends gathered. Dr. Robert was there with Olivia and his new girlfriend, Dr. Sarah, who fit perfectly into the group. Ashley had brought her younger brother, who was visiting the city for the holidays. Other friends from the community center and Emma's activities were also present. "Make a wish, princess," William said as Emma prepared to blow out the candles. Emma squeezed her eyes shut, thought for a moment, then blew out all the candles at once. Everyone clapped. "What did you wish for?" Olivia asked. "I can't tell or it won't come true," Emma replied wisely. "But I can say it already happened." "How so?" Ashley asked, curious. Emma looked around at all the people she loved gathered in the garden. "I wished for my family to always stay together and happy, and it's already happening." That night, after everyone had left and Emma was asleep, William, Jennifer, and Ashley sat in the garden watching the stars. "Do you believe how much our lives have changed in 3 years?" Jennifer asked. "It feels like just yesterday when I first arrived here," Ashley remarked. "You were practically strangers living in the same house." "And now we're a real family," William added. "Not perfect, but real. Honest." "I've learned that family isn't about perfection," Jennifer said. "It's about showing up. It's about facing hardships together. It's about forgiving and starting over as many times as needed. And about accepting help when we need it," Ashley added. "I spent years thinking I had to be strong on my own. You taught me it's possible to be strong together with others." "Speaking of help," William turned to the two women, "I have some news for you." "What news?" Jennifer asked, intrigued. "Dr. Robert Thompson offered me an official partnership at the community center. He wants to expand the project to other cities and needs someone to coordinate everything." "William, that's amazing!" Jennifer hugged her husband. "Are you going to accept?" "Only if you both agree. It would mean some travel, maybe changes to our routine." "Of course we agree," Ashley said immediately. "This work makes you happier than I've ever seen before." "And I can adjust my support group work to help with the new centers," Jennifer added. "It would be wonderful to bring this help to more families." "What about me?" Ashley asked. "Where do I fit into this plan?" William and Jennifer smiled. "You're our family coordinator," Jennifer said. "Without you, none of this would work. You're coming with us wherever we go." Ashley felt her eyes well up. "Are you sure? I'm not blood related." "Ashley," William interrupted, "you saved our family. You're part of us. Blood has nothing to do with it." That night, the three of them made plans for the future. They talked to Emma about the possible changes, planned the expansion of their social work, and keep building the life they discovered was possible. 5 years later, William stood in the garden of a new house in a small town outside New York City, watching Emma play with a group of local children. At 11 years old, she had grown into a confident and compassionate girl, always ready to include shyer children in her games. "Daddy, can I organize a welcome party for the new family next door?" she asked, referring to a family that had just moved in. "Of course, Princess. What kind of party do you have in mind?" "A simple one in the garden, with homemade cake, games, and everyone together, like we always do." William smiled. Emma had learned, by example, that happiness lay in simple things, in genuine human connections. Jennifer stepped out of the house, carrying a tray of fresh lemonade. She was radiant, with a sparkle in her eyes that hadn't been there in the early years of their marriage. The work at the expanded community center had become her passion, and she helped dozens of women every month. "How was the meeting with the coordinators from the other cities?" she asked William. "Excellent. We already have 15 centers running and requests to open 10 more. Dr. Robert was right when he said our personal experience would be our greatest strength." Ashley joined them, coming from the backyard where she'd been planting a vegetable garden with some of the kids from the center. "The kids are so excited about next week's harvest," she announced, and Sophia asked if she can take some seedlings to plant at her house. Sophia was one of the children at the center, the daughter of a single mother who was overcoming postpartum depression with the help of the program Jennifer coordinated. "Of course you can," Jennifer replied. "In fact, how about we organize a plant sale? The kids can sell what they've grown and use the money to buy supplies for the center's library." "I love it when you come up with these ideas," Ashley said, smiling. "It always reminds me why I chose to stay with you." "Chose?" William teased. "Do you even have a choice anymore?" "Nope," Ashley laughed. "You're stuck with me forever." That evening, after Emma went to sleep, the three of them sat on the porch, as they'd made a habit of doing every night. It was their time to connect, share the day's events, and plan for the future. "I got an interesting call today," Jennifer said. "A publisher wants me to write a book about our experience, about how a family can rebuild after a crisis." "Are you going to write it?" Ashley asked. "I don't know. On one hand, it could help more people. On the other, our story is so personal." "Jennifer," William took her hand, "if you're comfortable sharing our story, I fully support it. How many families could benefit from knowing it's possible to start over? And do you two show up in the book too?" "Of course," Ashley said. "We're a family, remember? We do everything together." 6 months later, Jennifer was signing copies of her book, Starting Over Together, a story of family loss and hope, at the local bookstore. The line of people waiting to meet her stretched down the sidewalk. William watched proudly, holding Emma's hand, who had insisted on wearing her prettiest dress for Mommy's special day. "Daddy, why are so many people here to see Mommy?" Emma asked. "Because our family's story might help other families going through hard times," William explained. "Is our story really that special?" "Very special. Not because we're perfect, but because we've learned that real love is stronger than any problem." Ashley walked over, carrying a stack of newly purchased books. "I'm giving these as gifts to all the families at the center," she explained. "They deserve to know they're not alone." A woman approached them, tears in her eyes. "Are you the family from the book?" she asked. "We are," William answered. "I wanted to thank you. My daughter is struggling with postpartum depression, and your book helped me understand how to support her. For the first time in months, I have hope things will get better." Emma tugged at William's sleeve. "Daddy, can I tell the lady something?" William nodded. "Mom," Emma said with her usual seriousness, "my mommy was sad for a while too, but she's okay now. And you know why? Because we never stopped loving her, even when she was far away. Family love is the strongest medicine there is." The woman knelt to meet Emma's height. "Thank you, sweetheart. You just gave me the best advice I've ever received." That night, the family celebrated the book's success with a homemade pizza made by all 4 of them. It was a tradition they'd started, celebrating every achievement, big or small, together at home. "I'm proud of us," Jennifer said, looking at each of them. "How we support each other, how we've grown together." "Mommy," Emma suddenly said, "can I ask something I've always wondered?" "Of course, sweetheart." "If you could go back and do things differently, would you?" Jennifer thought carefully before answering. "You know, Emma, I wish I hadn't suffered so much. I wish I'd asked for help sooner, but I wouldn't change where we ended up. If we hadn't gone through those tough times, maybe we never would have learned to appreciate what really matters. And Auntie Ashley would have never come to live with us," Emma added. Exactly. And Dr. Robert would have never become our friend. And we'd never have discovered the work at the community center. So sometimes bad things bring good things, Emma asked. Sometimes, yes, William replied. But only when we face the bad things with courage and ask for help when we need it. And when we have a family that never gives up, Ashley added. 2 years later, the family gathered for a very special occasion, the wedding of Dr. Robert and Dr. Sarah. The ceremony took place in the garden of the first house they had lived in, which Dr. Robert had turned into an event space for the community center. Emma, now 13, was one of the bridesmaids, alongside Olivia, who was 17 and had become her sister at heart. Ashley coordinated all the decorations, using flowers planted by the kids at the center. Jennifer and William were the best man and matron of honor. Who would have thought we'd be here one day celebrating a wedding in the house where we almost lost everything? William murmured to Jennifer as they watched Dr. Robert and Dr. Sarah exchange vows. Life has these beautiful ironies, Jennifer replied. Places that have seen tears can also see joy. During the reception, Emma approached her parents. Mom, Dad, can I make a speech? Of course, Princess, William answered, curious. Emma took the microphone and stepped onto a small decorated platform. Hi everyone, she began, with the confidence of someone used to public speaking through the center's events. I wanted to say something about Uncle Robert and Auntie Sarah. Everyone fell silent listening to the teenager. When I was little, I thought family was only the people who lived in the same house. Then I thought it was just those who shared the same last name. But growing up here, I learned that family is whoever chooses to stay when things get hard. It's who loves you even on your bad days. It's who celebrates your victories like they're their own. Emma paused, looking at her parents and Ashley. Uncle Robert and Auntie Sarah are building a family today. Not just the two of them, but all of us who chose to be here, who chose to cheer them on, who chose to share joys and sorrows. So I want to make a toast. She raised her juice glass, not just to their marriage, but to the big crazy family we've all made together. The applause was enthusiastic, and there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Dr. Robert walked over and hugged Emma. Thank you, sweetheart. You just perfectly summed up what we're celebrating today. Later, as the party wound down and people began to leave, the family stayed to help clean up. You don't have to help, Dr. Robert protested. It's my wedding. I should be the one cleaning. Nonsense, Ashley said, already stacking plates. Family helps family. Besides, Jennifer added, cleaning with lots of people is faster and more fun. As they worked, they talked about future plans. Dr. Robert and Dr. Sarah planned a honeymoon in the countryside, visiting some of the community centers they'd helped establish. Olivia would start college for psychology the next year, inspired by her adoptive parents' work. Emma was excited about high school and already talked about studying social education. What about you? Dr. Robert asked William and Jennifer. What are your plans? William and Jennifer exchanged a knowing look. Actually, Jennifer said, we have some news to share. What news? Ashley stopped sweeping to listen. We've decided to adopt a child, William announced. The silence that followed was broken by Emma. Really? Am I getting a brother or sister? If all goes well, yes, Jennifer confirmed. He's a 6-year-old boy who's been in the adoption system for 2 years. Why did you decide this? Olivia asked curiously. Because we have so much love to give, William replied. And because our experience has taught us that family isn't about blood ties, but about choosing to love and care for one another. Besides, Emma added wisely, if Auntie Ashley taught me anything, it's that there's always room for one more person in the family. Ashley smiled, moved. When will you meet the boy? Next week, Jennifer answered. We want to be sure it's the right decision for everyone, especially for him. What's his name? Dr. Robert asked. Matthew, William said. He's 6 and loves soccer and drawing. He's been through some hardships, but the social workers think he'd adjust well to a structured family like ours. Does he know about you? Dr. Sarah asked. He knows a family is interested in meeting him, Jennifer explained. But we don't want to raise his hopes until we're sure it's a good match for everyone. The following week, the family carefully prepared to meet Matthew. Emma made drawings to show him, Ashley baked homemade cookies, and William and Jennifer talked at length about how to approach the first meeting, The meeting took place at the adoption center, a neutral space where Matthew felt safe. When they arrived, they found a shy boy with dark hair and big eyes, playing alone with building blocks. "Matthew," the social worker said gently, "this is the family who wanted to meet you." The boy looked up, studying each of them carefully. "Hi, Matthew." Emma stepped forward first, crouching to his level. "I'm Emma. Do you like to draw?" Matthew nodded timidly. "I brought some of my drawings to show you. Want to see?" As Emma shared her drawings, William, Jennifer, and Ashley watched the interaction. It was clear Matthew was interested, but still very cautious. "Can you tell me what you like to do?" Jennifer asked kindly. "I like soccer," Matthew answered softly, "and drawing cars." "My daddy taught me how to play soccer," Emma said. "Do you want him to teach you too?" Matthew looked at William with interest. "You know how to play real soccer?" "I do," William smiled. "I'm not great, but I can teach you what I know." "And you?" Matthew turned to Ashley. "I'm Auntie Ashley. I've been taking care of Emma and the family for years. If you come live with us, I'll take care of you too." "Like a babysitter?" "Like an auntie who loves you very much," Ashley replied. The visit lasted 2 hours. Matthew gradually opened up, showing his drawings, talking about school, and asking questions about their home. "Do you have pets?" he asked. "We don't," Jennifer said. "But if you'd like, we can talk about getting one. What do you think?" Matthew's eyes lit up for the first time. "A dog?" "It could be a dog," William agreed. "Or a cat. Or any animal you like." When it was time to leave, Matthew seemed reluctant to say goodbye. "Will you come back?" he asked. "If you want us to," Emma answered. "I do," he said, almost whispering. In the car, the family talked about their impressions. "He's precious," Ashley said, "but you can tell he's been through a lot." "He'll need a lot of love and patience," Jennifer agreed. "He reminded me of myself when I was little," Emma remarked. "After my mum left, I also tested people to see if they'd stay or go." "And what did you think of him?" William asked his daughter. "I think he needs us as much as we need him," Emma answered with maturity. "And I think he's going to be an amazing brother." The meetings continued for 3 more weeks. With each visit, Matthew grew more comfortable, more confident. On the last visit before the final decision, he even smiled and ran to hug Emma when they arrived. "Matthew," the social worker said after one of the visits, "how do you feel about the possibility of living with this family?" "They're nice," he replied. "And Emma said I can share her toys, and that Auntie Ashley makes the best chocolate cake in the world." "And would you like them to be your new family?" Matthew thought for a moment. "They promised they won't send me back if I do something wrong?" The question broke everyone's hearts. "Matthew," William knelt in front of him, "real family doesn't send anyone away. No matter what happens, when you become part of our family, it's forever." "Even if I break something?" "Even if you break something," Jennifer confirmed. "Even if I get mad sometimes?" "Even if you get mad," Ashley said. "We all get mad sometimes. It's normal." "Even if I miss my old family?" "Especially if you miss them," Emma said. "Missing them isn't wrong. You can miss them and still love your new family." Matthew nodded slowly. "Then I want to live with you." 3 months later, Matthew was officially living with the family. The adjustment wasn't easy. There were nights he woke up crying, days he tested boundaries, moments he questioned if he was truly loved. But the family was prepared. Ashley slept in his room the first few weeks until he felt safe. Emma shared her toys and taught him the house rules with endless patience. William took him to play soccer in the park every weekend. Jennifer helped him with nightmares, using techniques she'd learned in her own therapy. "Matthew," she said one night after another nightmare, "do you want to talk about what you're feeling? Sometimes I'm scared you'll get tired of me," he confessed. "Why do you think that?" "Because I'm a lot of trouble. The other families always said that." Jennifer's heart ached. How could a 6-year-old have already faced so much rejection? "Matthew, look at me," she said softly. "You're not trouble. You're a child who's been through hard times and needs time to trust again. That's normal, and we have all the time in the world." "Did Emma give trouble when she was little?" "Sometimes, yes. When Mommy got sick and had to leave for a while, Emma had nightmares too. She got scared too. But we never thought about giving up on her. And you won't give up on me? Never, Jennifer promised. You're our son now. Forever. 6 months after Matthew's arrival, the family celebrated their first official birthday as a family of 5. Ashley had organized a surprise party in the backyard with all their dear friends present. "Speech, speech," Dr. Robert called out when William took the microphone. "I'm not sure what to say," William began, looking at his family. "5 years ago, I thought I'd lost everything. My business was failing, my wife was gone, my daughter wouldn't speak to me. I was alone and desperate." He paused, emotional. "Today, I look around and see the family of my dreams. Not the perfect family I thought I wanted, but the real, imperfect, wonderful family we've built together." "Daddy," Matthew interrupted, "can I say something?" "Of course, son. Thank you for choosing me. I know you could have picked any kid, but you picked me. And now I have the best family in the world. There wasn't a dry eye at the party. I'm the one who should be thankful," William replied. "You taught us that love has no limits, that there's always room for more love, more joy, more family." Emma stood up. "Emma, I want to say something too," she announced. "When I was little, I thought family was just Mommy, Daddy, and me. Then I thought it was Mommy, Daddy, me, and Auntie Ashley. Now I know that family is all the people we choose to love and who choose to love us back." She looked around at everyone present. Uncle Robert, Auntie Sarah, Olivia, Matthew, and even the friends from the community center who couldn't be here today. She continued, "All of you are our family, and the best part is that our family keeps growing. To family," Ashley proposed a toast. "To family," everyone echoed in unison. That night, after everyone had left and the children were asleep, the 3 adults sat on the porch, as they always did. "Can I confess something?" Jennifer said. "When I was at the clinic, I was afraid that when I came back, you wouldn't need me anymore, that you'd learn to be happy without me." "And now?" William asked. "Now I know it was never about you needing me. It was about me needing to be here for you. It was about me choosing to be here every day, building this life together. Do you know what I love most about this family?" Ashley asked. "What?" "That every one of us chose to be here. I chose to stay when I could have looked for another job. Jennifer chose to come back when she could have started a new life. William chose to change when he could have kept living the old one. Emma chose to forgive us and trust again. And Matthew chose to give us a chance when he had every reason not to trust adults." "And you think that's what makes us special?" William asked. "I think that's what makes us real," Ashley replied. "Real families are made of daily choices, choosing to stay, choosing to forgive, choosing to start over, choosing to love even when it's hard." 5 years later, Emma graduated from high school. The ceremony took place in the school auditorium, but the whole extended family was there. William, Jennifer, Ashley, Matthew, now 11 years old, Dr. Robert, Dr. Sarah, Olivia, who had come back from college just for the event, and even Ashley's brother, who had become an honorary uncle to the kids. "When they call my name to get my diploma," Emma told the family before the ceremony, "I want you all to cheer really loud, all of you. This achievement is ours." "Even Matthew?" William teased. "Especially Matthew," Emma laughed. "He helped me with math all through high school." "That's because you helped me understand that family means supporting each other," Matthew replied. When Emma's name was called, the whole family stood up, shouting, clapping, and whistling. Other families smiled at the lively group. "Emma Parker Heiress," the principal announced, "who will be our class speaker." Emma walked confidently onto the stage. At 18, she had grown into an articulate, compassionate, and determined young woman. "My classmates, families, and teachers," she began, "when I think about what I've learned during these school years, I don't just think about the subjects I studied. I think mostly about the life lessons I learned at home." She looked directly at her family in the audience. "I learned that family isn't perfect, but it's real. I learned that true love doesn't give up, even when things get really hard. I learned that asking for help is a sign of courage, not weakness. And I learned that there's always room for more love, more understanding, more family. There was enthusiastic applause. Many of you know that my family went through tough times when I was little. My mother got sick, my father almost lost everything, and I didn't understand why the world seemed to be falling apart. Emma paused, steadying her emotions. But it was in those toughest moments that we learned what truly matters. It's not the size of the house you live in or how much money you have. It's about having people who choose to stay with you when everything seems lost. It's about having people who help you up when you fall. It's about having people who believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. The applause grew louder. So I want to dedicate my graduation not just to my birth parents, but to my entire family, to Auntie Ashley, who taught me that caring for others is a form of love, to my brother Matthew, who taught me that family is about choosing each other, and to all the friends who became chosen family. Emma concluded, "May we all leave here carrying this lesson. Life will give us many challenges, but we're never alone if we're willing to accept and offer true love." Thank you. The standing ovation lasted several minutes. In the audience, not a single family member wasn't crying with pride. After the ceremony, the family gathered in the parking lot for photos and celebration. "I'm so proud of you," Jennifer hugged her daughter. "You've become an amazing woman." "I learned from the best teachers," Emma replied, looking at each family member. "And now?" Dr. Robert asked. "What are your college plans?" "I'll study psychology and social work," Emma announced. "I want to continue the work you all started in the community centers, but focusing specifically on children who've experienced family trauma." "Like you and Matthew," Ashley observed. "Exactly. I think those who've been through something can best help others going through the same." "And where will you study?" Olivia asked. "At the State University here. I don't want to be away from family yet. Maybe for my master's I'll study abroad, but for now I want to stay close to you all." Matthew tugged at Emma's skirt. "Em, when you graduate from college, will I already be finishing high school?" "That's right, little brother. So can we work together at the community centers?" "If that's what you want to do," Emma smiled, "but you still have time to decide." "I've already decided," Matthew said firmly. "I want to help kids like me, kids who lost their family and found a new one. I want to show them it's possible to be happy again." That night, the family threw a graduation party at home, an intimate gathering with only their dearest people. Ashley had made Emma's favorite cake, chocolate with strawberries, the same recipe she'd used since joining the family. "A toast," William stood with a glass in hand, "to our graduate, but mostly to the incredible young woman she's become." "Daddy, can I make a request?" Emma asked. "Of course, Princess. I want us to make a family album with photos of every important moment from when you all met until today. I want future generations to know how this family was built." "Future generations?" Jennifer teased. "Well, I plan to have kids someday, and Matthew probably will too. And I want them to know their family's story. I want them to know that true love overcomes any obstacle." "It's a beautiful idea," Ashley agreed. "I've kept all the photos organized since I arrived." "And I have the ones from before," Jennifer added, "even from the hard times. I think they should be part of the story too." "Why the hard times too?" Matthew asked. "Because the hard times taught us to appreciate the good ones," William explained. "They're part of who we are today." "Like scars?" Matthew asked. "I have a scar on my knee from when I fell off my bike. It reminds me that I learned how to ride." "Exactly like scars," Jennifer smiled. "They aren't pretty, but they show we survived and grew stronger." 2 years later, Emma was in her second year of college and already interning at community centers. Her senior project was being developed in partnership with the family, a support program for families going through late-stage adoption processes. "How's the project going?" William asked during family dinner. "Amazing," Emma replied excitedly. "We already have 5 families participating, and the results are really promising." "What kind of support do you offer?" Dr. Sarah asked. She and Dr. Robert had become regulars at family dinners. "Mostly discussion groups. Kids who were adopted talk to kids in the process. Families who've already adjusted share experiences with those just starting." "Does Matthew participate?" Olivia asked. "Of course," Matthew answered. "I tell the kids it's normal to be scared at first, that it's normal to test if your new family is real, and that it works out if everyone's patient. Have you helped many kids so far? Ashley asked. 3 up to now, Matthew said proudly. There's a 7-year-old boy who was really afraid to move in with his new family. I told him how I tested y'all at first and how you never gave up on me. Now he's way more excited. And the adoptive parents? Dr. Robert asked. How do they react to the program? They feel so relieved, Emma explained. Many think they should instinctively know how to handle the challenges. When they learn it's normal to have an adjustment period and that other families went through the same things, they feel less pressure. Our family should write a handbook, Jennifer joked. Actually, Emma said, exchanging a look with Matthew, we are writing a book together. Really? William asked, surprised. Yeah, Matthew confirmed. Our family's story, but told from the kids' perspective, to show other kids that happiness is possible again, even when everything seems lost. And to show that family isn't about perfection, Emma added. So it's about choosing to stay together even when it's hard. When will you publish? Ashley asked. We're still writing, Matthew said, but we already have a publisher interested, the same one that released Mom's book. I'm so proud of you both, Jennifer said, emotional. Seeing you turn your experiences into something that helps others, there's nothing more beautiful than that. That night, after everyone had gone to bed, William and Jennifer stayed up talking. Can you believe what our family has become? Jennifer asked. Sometimes it still feels like a dream, William admitted. 10 years ago, I was losing everything. Today, I have more than I ever dreamed possible. What do you think is the secret? How we managed to overcome it all, William thought for a moment. I think it's that we never gave up on love. Even when it seemed hopeless, someone was always willing to fight for this family. And accepting help, Jennifer added. If I hadn't gotten treatment, if you hadn't accepted Dr. Robert's help, if we hadn't let Ashley into our lives, true, I learned pride can destroy a family, but humility can save it. And that family isn't a title you get automatically, Jennifer said. It's something you build every day with small choices of love and dedication. Speaking of which, William turned to his wife. I have a question for you. What question? If you could give one piece of advice to a family going through hard times right now, what would it be? Jennifer thought carefully. I'd say don't be afraid to ask for help. Accept that there's no such thing as a perfect family, but a true family is possible. And that love alone doesn't solve everything, but love combined with action, patience, and forgiveness can move mountains. And I'd add, William chimed in, that sometimes you need to lose everything to discover what truly matters. That success isn't measured in money or status, but in the quality of the relationships you build. 3 years later, the family celebrated Emma's first wedding anniversary. She had married Ryan, a psychologist she met in college, who fit perfectly into their extended family. The ceremony had been simple, held in their backyard, just as Emma had always dreamed. To the newlyweds, Dr. Robert toasted during the small anniversary gathering. To the family, Emma corrected, because Ryan didn't just marry me, he married all of us. Ryan laughed, and I wouldn't change a thing. When I met Emma, I thought I was gaining a wife. I had no idea I was gaining an entire family of 10 people. We are intense, that's for sure, Ashley admitted, but in the best way. Speaking of intensity, Jennifer said, we have some news to share. Everyone paused to listen. Emma and Matthew's book is being turned into a movie, William announced. Really? Olivia asked excitedly. Really, Matthew confirmed. An independent studio wants to make a film based on our story, and they want our family to be involved as consultants. Does that mean we'll be in the movie? Dr. Robert asked. Not exactly us, Emma explained. Actors will play our family, but we'll help make sure the story is told truthfully. And what's the main message you want the film to convey? Dr. Sarah asked. That family isn't about perfection, Matthew answered immediately. It's about imperfect people choosing to love each other unconditionally. And that it's never too late to start over, Emma added. That there's always hope, even when it feels like all is lost. When will the movie be finished? Ryan asked. It'll take about 2 more years, William explained, but the studio wants it to be a quality film, one that truly makes a difference in people's lives. That night, after everyone had left, The original family, William, Jennifer, Ashley, Emma, and Matthew, gathered in the living room to talk. "Can you believe our story is becoming a movie?" Ashley asked, still in disbelief. "The most amazing part isn't the movie," Jennifer said. "It's thinking about how many families our story might help." "Mom," Matthew said, "can I ask you something?" "Of course, sweetheart." "Do you think if you hadn't gotten sick, our family would be as close as we are now?" The question caught everyone off guard. Jennifer thought carefully before answering. "You know, Matthew, that's a very deep question. I think maybe not. Maybe your daddy would have kept working too much. Maybe I would have kept bottling up my feelings instead of talking about them. Maybe Ashley would have never come into our lives. So sometimes bad things happen so good things can come from them," Matthew asked. "I don't know if bad things happen for a reason," William said carefully, "but I do know we can choose to make good things grow from the bad." "Like turning pain into help for others," Emma said. "Exactly," Ashley agreed. "You could have let the hardships tear your family apart. Instead, you used them to build something even stronger." "And now," Matthew asked, "where does our family go from here?" "Wherever we want to go," Jennifer smiled. "Together." "I know where I want to go," Emma said. "Where?" everyone asked in unison. "I want to keep doing this work for the next 50 years. I want to help 1,000 families find each other. I want our story to inspire other families to never give up on one another. And I want to have children to carry on this family tradition," Matthew added. "I want to teach my kids what you taught me, that family is about choice, love, and perseverance." "And I want to keep watching you grow and build your own families," Ashley said. "I want to be Grandma Ashley to all the future generations." "And I want to keep waking up every day grateful to have you," Jennifer said. "And for learning that it's possible to start over as many times as needed." "And I want to keep being the man you taught me to be," William concluded, present, dedicated, and always willing to put family first. They fell silent for a moment, absorbing the depth of what they'd shared. "Do you know what I think is the biggest miracle of our story?" Emma asked. "What?" Ashley replied. "That each of us was exactly what the others needed, right at the right time. Daddy needed to learn to be present. Mommy needed to learn to ask for help. I needed to learn I could trust again. Matthew needed a family that would never give up on him. And Auntie Ashley needed a family to love and care for." "That's true," Jennifer agreed. "It's like we were puzzle pieces that fit together perfectly." "But puzzles are hard to put together," Matthew pointed out. "You have to try over and over until the pieces fit." "Exactly," William laughed. "We tried many times. We messed up, got it right, messed up again. But we never stopped trying to make the pieces fit." "And now that we've finished the puzzle?" Ashley asked. "Now we keep it safe with great care," Emma said, "and we help other people put their puzzles together." 10 years later, the family gathered for a very special occasion, the worldwide premiere of the movie based on their story. The event took place in New York City, in a theater reserved just for them. The whole extended family was there, William and Jennifer, now in their 50s. Ashley, who had become a respected maternal figure to dozens of children, helped by community centers. Emma and Ryan, now parents of 3-year-old twins. Matthew, with a degree in psychology and overseeing 5 community centers. Dr. Robert and Dr. Sarah, who had become adoptive grandparents to all the family's children. Olivia, now married with a baby of her own. "Are you nervous?" the reporter asked the family during the pre-screening interview. "A little," Emma admitted. "It's strange seeing your life told by other people. But it's also exciting," Matthew added, "knowing our story might touch other families." "What do you think is the most important message of the movie?" the reporter asked. "That there's no such thing as a perfect family," William answered. "But there is such a thing as a real family, and real families don't give up on each other." "And that asking for help isn't shameful," Jennifer added. "It's courage." "What was the hardest part to see portrayed in the movie?" the reporter asked. "For me," Ashley said, "it was the scene where Emma was afraid to eat. It reminded me of how lost we all were back then." "For me, it was the scene of my arrival," Matthew said. "Seeing a child actor play my fear of being rejected again made me remember how small and scared I felt." "And the easiest part?" "The happy family scenes," Emma's twins answered together, making everyone laugh. They haven't seen the movie yet, Emma explained, but they know it's about our family. During the screening, the family was moved to tears several times. Seeing their journey portrayed on the big screen, with stirring music and heartfelt performances, gave a new dimension to the experiences they had lived through. In the scene where William sees Ashley feeding Emma for the first time, everyone remembered how that moment had been a turning point. In the scene where Jennifer returns from the clinic, there wasn't a dry eye in the family, and when Matthew joined the family, even the little ones paid special attention. "Does that boy look like me when I was little?" Matthew whispered to Emma. "Exactly like you," she whispered back, scared but brave. When the movie ended, the audience rose in a standing ovation that lasted several minutes. The family was called to the stage for final words. "We don't know if we deserve all this love," William said into the microphone, "but we know our story was only possible because we were never alone." "Every person who helped us along the way," Jennifer continued, "was part of this journey. Dr. Robert, the social workers, the therapists, the teachers, the neighbors who became friends. And most of all," Ashley added, "every family watching now who might be going through hard times. You're not alone. There's always hope." "If our story teaches just one thing," Emma said, "let it be this. True love overcomes any obstacle, but only if we fight for it every day." "And that family is about choice," Matthew concluded. "Every day we choose to love, choose to stay, choose to forgive, choose to start over." After the premiere, the family gathered at home for an intimate celebration. It was their tradition. After every public event, they always came together to process the experience as a family. "How do you feel?" Ryan asked his in-laws. "Grateful," William answered. "Grateful we lived this story, grateful we survived the hard parts, grateful we can share our experience." "And you girls?" Ashley asked the twins. "What did you think of the movie?" "We liked the part where Grandma Jennifer comes home," one of them replied. "And the part where Uncle Matthew arrived," the other added. "Why did you like those parts?" Dr. Sarah asked. "Because the family was complete," they answered together. "But wasn't the family complete before?" Olivia teased. "It was almost complete," one of the twins explained seriously, "but a few important people were missing." "And now it's complete?" Dr. Robert asked. The twins looked around the room, mentally counting everyone present. "Now it's super complete," they decided. Everyone laughed at the made-up word. "Super complete is a good word for our family," Matthew said. "Big, complicated, sometimes loud, but super complete. And always growing," Emma added, resting her hand on her slightly rounded belly. There was a moment of absolute silence. "Emma," Jennifer began. "Is this what I think it is?" William asked. "If you're thinking we're having another baby in the family, then yes," Ryan confirmed, smiling. The joyful scream that followed was probably heard by the neighbors. Everyone stood up to hug the soon-to-be parents. "How far along?" Ashley asked. 3 months, Emma replied. "We wanted to wait until after the movie premiere to share the news." "Is it a boy or a girl?" the twins asked excitedly. "We don't know yet," Ryan said, "but we already have names picked." "What?" everyone asked in unison. "If it's a girl, she'll be named Hope," Emma announced. "And if it's a boy, he'll be named Gabriel." "Why?" Matthew asked. "Because our family is a story of hope," Emma explained. "And because we believe angels exist, they just don't have wings. They have hands that help, hearts that welcome, and time to dedicate to those in need." "Like Auntie Ashley," one of the twins said. "Like Grandpa Robert," the other added. "Like all of you," Emma concluded. That night, 3 generations of the family settled into the living room for another one of their traditional conversations. The children had gone to sleep, but the adults couldn't end the day without processing everything that had happened. "Do you think 20 years from now we'll still be here talking like this?" Ashley asked. "I hope so," Jennifer replied. "With more people, more stories, more love to share. And more problems to solve together," William added. "Because life always brings challenges. But it also brings joy," Matthew said. "And if there's one thing I've learned from all of you, it's that joys grow bigger when shared, and problems grow smaller." "You know what my biggest dream is right now?" Emma asked. What? Everyone wanted to know. That my children grow up knowing this story. That they learn from a young age that family is something built with love, patience, and dedication, that they never doubt they're loved unconditionally. They'll know, Ryan assured. How could they not, with all of us here to tell them? And I want them to know too, Matthew added, that it doesn't matter where you come from or what hardships you faced. What matters is what you choose to do with the love you receive. And that there's always room for one more at the family table, Ashley said. Always. One more? Dr. Robert teased. Ashley, this table's already going to need an extension with this new baby on the way. Then we'll buy a bigger table, Ashley replied simply. Or put 2 tables side by side, or eat in the garden. It doesn't matter where, as long as we're together. Speaking of the garden, Dr. Sarah said, did you see the seeds we planted last month are starting to sprout? Everyone turned toward the window overlooking the garden. Even in the dark, they could picture the tiny seedlings beginning to grow in the bed they'd prepared together. It's beautiful, Jennifer observed. Planting seeds and waiting for them to grow. It's like raising a family. How so? Olivia asked. You plant seeds of love, patience, forgiveness, dedication, Jennifer explained. And then you tend to them every day, water them with care, protect them from storms. And one day you look up and see a beautiful family growing around you. And some seeds take longer to sprout than others, William added, looking affectionately at Matthew. But they all sprout if nurtured with love, Matthew finished. They sat in comfortable silence for a few minutes, each lost in their own thoughts about the journey they'd shared. You know the biggest lesson I've learned from our family? Ashley finally asked. What? Everyone wanted to know. That family isn't a place you're born into. It's a place you choose to build every day, with small acts of love and kindness. And that it's never too late to start, Emma added. And it's never too early to teach, Matthew said, thinking of the children he helped at the community centers. And that love multiplied never runs out, William concluded. The more you love, the more love you have to give. So, Jennifer stood and held out her hands. Shall we say our gratitude prayer? It was another family ritual. On special nights before saying goodbye, they'd form a circle and each share one thing they were thankful for. I'm grateful for learning it's possible to start over, Jennifer began. I'm grateful for learning that being present matters more than any present, William continued. I'm grateful for finding a family that let me stay, Ashley followed. I'm grateful to have learned that family is a choice, Emma said. I'm grateful to have been chosen, Matthew added. I'm grateful to have found not just a wife, but an entire family, Ryan said. We're grateful to have found not just in-laws, but true parents, Dr. Robert Thompson said for himself and Dr. Sarah. And I'm grateful to have grown up seeing love always win, Olivia concluded. When they let go of each other's hands, everyone stayed in the circle for another moment. Wherever life takes us from here, Emma said, I want you all to know this family saved my life, literally. Ours too, Matthew echoed. Ours too, William and Jennifer said together. Ours too, all the others repeated. And so, on that special night, after the premiere of the movie that told their story to the world, the family said goodbye knowing they had built something truly special. Not a perfect family, but a real one. A family that had weathered storms and come out stronger. A family that had learned true love isn't about never having problems, but about choosing to face them together. A family that knew their story would keep being written with each new day, each new joy, each new challenge. And no matter what the future held, they would face it the same way they had so far, together, with love, with patience, and with the absolute certainty that family is the greatest treasure anyone can have. The end of the story. And now, dear listener, tell us what you thought of this story. Do you believe it's possible to rebuild a family after a crisis? Have you experienced something similar? Share your thoughts in the comments with your honest words. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other heartwarming stories like this one. Thank you so much for being with us.